here with heavyweight of the world champ, Larry Holmes, a good friend of Mayor McNultys, and somebody whose career began in March of 1973.
Yes.
At the Scranton CYC, and who came back when the mayor was mayor and gave Scranton the opportunity to host a heavyweight championship of the world. Who did you fight that night?
I fought a guy named Lucian Rodriguez.
That's right.
I fought a guy named Lucian Rodriguez. He's from England or wherever he was from. And the reason why I came here to Scranton because I had met the mayor. He was a great guy, and he said, "You should come up here and fight." I said, "Okay." And then I said, "I better keep my word."
That was the biggest thing that ever happened to our city, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, it made all Scrantonians very proud.
Oh, you know, that's what it's all about, you know, giving people opportunities. That's something that most people don't like doing because there ain't a lot of money involved. But, you know, even though there wasn't a lot of money involved with me, it was my reputation, my saying that I was going to be there if I could be there, and I'm there. And meeting a guy like McNulty, he was an okay man. He was a good guy. And, you know, I mean, even after the fight was over, he was still coming to Vegas and places to watch me fight.
Yep.
So why not give it to a guy like that? I mean, you know, the guy wasn't looking for nothing. He just wanted to put on something, do something for the city of Scranton.
And the two of you did something that made all of us proud. And
made everybody proud.
Really a great night. We had all of the national sports folks in, the national television.
Yeah.
It was a great fight at the Watrous Army, I might add. Right?
Yeah, and that's how I always tell everybody, you can't forget it, man. That's home. Like every time somebody says Scranton, Pennsylvania, you know, I think of the fights that I had back in 1973 and started and then for the championship right here with Lucian Rodriguez. And think about the Army and stuff like that, boy, where we train at.
Champ, thank you. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Thanks for coming up for the
yeah, he's a knockout. That's why I'm here.
The chairman of tonight's event, Senator Bob Casey, who had a beautiful speech honoring Mayor McNulty, but he's quite a guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's remarkable. Todd, only Jim McNulty, and I'll say Evie too, could put together the kind of crowd that we see here tonight. All political persuasions, different parties, different perspectives on life, a whole range of people that this region is so proud of, but often they're not all in the same room.
And you know, it's you're so right, and it's generation after generation. I just saw former Mayor Gene Peters walk by, where Jim started, out of the University of Scranton in that administration. County Commissioner Bob Pettinato.
Yeah.
Again, somebody that he worked with, Democrats and Republicans. He likes to refer to them as the people that make Scranton, that used to come out to the showmobile, the kids that worked on the showmobile. And he said something that I was really touched with. A fellow from WYOU said, "Mayor, what's your proudest accomplishment?" And he thought for a while. He said, "My proudest accomplishment is coming from Valley View Terrace, a public housing project, becoming mayor of the city of Scranton." And I always went back to those projects and said, if this kid from the project can do it, so can you. And that's what Jimmy is all about.
He's had a remarkable life, and he's inspiring. I can remember when he got elected mayor, how excited people were about his election in the future. And we've had a couple of tough knocks over the years.
We have.
But he's in so many ways the personification of what this area is all about. Picking ourselves up off the canvas, to use my father's reference to the boxer, and keep fighting. And Jimmy has demonstrated that. You know, there's a great line attributed to Abraham Lincoln. He says the following: "In the end, it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years." And that describes Jimmy. If he were not 70, if he were 20, we'd probably be saying the same things. He packed so much excitement and dynamism and leadership into his life. So
I don't know that you heard, but the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee made him the Grand Marshal this year. And he and Sister Adrian will be sitting in the front of a convertible, and it will be great.
Well, I think we could say, not just on tonight, but on a lot of nights, Jimmy McNulty would be the Grand Marshal of any parade.
That's for sure. Senator, thank you for all you do for the region, and thanks for being here
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
State Democratic Chairman declared today Mayor Jim McNulty Day in the Democratic Party.
As a former mayor of Millvale and Allegheny County, proclamations are in the mayor's blood. You never can give enough proclamations. They're goodwill, they're good gestures, and Mayor McNulty is deserving of it. The years in leadership, the years up here in Scranton and all across the state and the nation, his activism in the party, his mentoring, his advice, his counsel, what he did for this community and continues to do, a small token of appreciation from the Pennsylvania Democratic Party to say thank you, Mayor McNulty, for your years of service. It's an honor to know you, and we're glad to be part of your special night.
And congratulations is due to you.
Thank you.
For the fact that Pennsylvania will host the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, and I know you worked hard to make that come true.
It was a great team, starting with Congressman Brady in Philadelphia. He put a good team around him. They worked hard. We had some really tough competition in Columbus, in New York. With Congressman Brady's leadership, we're going to have the first Democratic convention in Pennsylvania since 1948.
And we had a young guy from Scranton, Pennsylvania by the name of Kevin Warshaw that worked pretty hard on it as well, and I know
that
know
guy.
And respect Kevin.
I am blessed to have known him and continue to know him. He was the executive director of the Pennsylvania Party. We are where we are today in large part because of Kevin. The convention is here in large part because of Kevin. A great young man. It's a pleasure to work with him.
Here with another good friend of Mayor Jim McNulty's, someone who's had a huge impact on the Democratic Party when you served as executive director of the state Democratic Party. And just recently, you had a major role in securing the Democratic Convention for Philadelphia. Talk to me about it.
Well, it was a great team effort. As you know, no one hands you a national political convention, but we had a great team, starting with Congressman Brady, Mayor Nutter, and Governor Rendell. Everyone was rowing in the same direction. It was a great effort all around.
And that's going to be a great convention.
I think it's going to be great. As you know, 2000 was a fantastic convention
Yes,
for the
it
Republicans, and we want to replicate that as much as we can, but we also want to highlight some of the new facets of Philadelphia, and we think we're going to have a great time.
I think it's just going to be spectacular. People across the country, when they come to Philadelphia, are blown away about what a wonderful city it is.
Oh, it is, and it gets better every day, and I think the Democrats are going to be thrilled when they come for a week in July of 2016.
Thank you, Kevin. It's
Thank
great
you.
seeing you
Good
here.
to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Judge David Weck, no stranger to Lackawanna County, and of course a very close friend of Mayor Jim McNulty's.
Yep.
As was your father.
Yes.
Is your father.
Yes, they still are. In fact, I brought an autographed book from my dad for Jim because my dad couldn't be or had to be at a convention out west.
And you've been to this hotel a number of times. Isn't this spectacular? And you know
Fantastic.
the story.
Well,
But
Jim,
the wrecking ball was in the parking lot when he came in and saved us.
I do, Todd, and because Jim told me this story here in the lobby. We had lunch here a few months ago, and Jim told me the story of the place and pointed out the features of the lobby. It's quite a story.
Now, the last time we talked, you were considering running for Supreme Court. Now you're the endorsed Democratic candidate.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of friends up here, and we wish you all of the best in the world.
Thank you, Todd. It's great to be here. I wanted to make sure I was here to wish Jim well and congratulate him on his 70th birthday.
Thanks so much,
Thanks,
Judge.
Todd. Thanks
Great
very
seeing
much
you.
for having me, Todd.
You bet.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley and Langen. If I say the phrase life-changing experience, what do you think? Getting married, having a baby, buying a home, all good things. I'll bet you didn't think work injury, and that's a problem with our society. People don't realize a work injury can change everything, destroy your earning power, hurt your family, and damage your health. If you're hurt on the job, call O'Malley and Langen, 1-800-817-COMP. Here with Matt McGloin. Matt is a young man growing up. Your father had that beautiful flower shop, and the rose that Jimmy McNulty wear frequently came from your dad, and the McGloins and the McNultys have been friends for years and years and years.
Absolutely. He's a longtime family friend, and I've actually gotten to know Jim a lot more over the past few years, and just wanted to be here tonight, support him, do anything I can for him in his time of need, and help out in any way that I can.
Well, I gotta tell you, it means a lot to have you here, but it means a lot for all of us Scrantonians to see you here because we're so proud of you. We mean that sincerely. What a great career at Penn State, where you walked on.
Right, right.
And
Well,
became a starter.
you know, you don't forget where you come from, and you know, Jim has been such a big part of Scranton and a great politician, and you know, tights are about him. So, like I said, I want to be here with my family and support him.
Well, I think the message of Jim's is to a great degree your message as well. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. Scrantonians frequently don't believe in themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we are a great people, and the proof is in the pudding.
Absolutely, you know, blue-collar region, hard-working area. And obviously, Jim is a symbol of that, and myself as well. So,
Well, lots of luck.
Thank you.
Next season, and thanks for being here.
thank you.
The man behind the rose.
The Rose.
For years, when Mayor McNulty was mayor of the city, there was always a friend there with a rose for him for his lapel, and the idea of the rose became a part of Jim McNulty's persona.
Absolutely.
And you were a part of his administration and worked closely with him.
Yes, I did. Jim's a great friend. I'll tell you, he's been a wonderful individual to us and our family, and I know him a long time before he was mayor. And I don't think I've known anybody that cares more about a city than he does. Jim has just loved Scranton, and we're just here to show our support for him. The roses was that was a daily thing every day. I'd have that boutonniere, and every party event they'd have, we'd have 300, 400, 500 roses, 1,000 roses, whatever the event was.
That's right. And, you know, my brother was part of that administration too.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
He was director of public safety. And he used to talk about that.
He's a great individual. I'd seen him before here, and it was he had a great bunch of people out there surrounding him, cabinet people, and he did. He just had great people.
Chief of Police Bobby Williams.
Bobby Williams, I see he's here tonight,
others,
and
yeah.
it's a great night. I mean, it's the occasion. I wish we didn't have to be here for this occasion, but it's a great night for Scranton.
Well, it's a family reunion.
And basically,
so
that's
to
what it
speak.
is. When you see
really
the
is.
people I haven't seen in 20 years, 25 years down there coming up, it's just amazing just to meet them and see that they're all back together as a group.
And I can't be a Scrantonian that isn't proud of Matt McGloin and all that he's done. It was such a thrill for those years he was down at Penn State, seeing you and your wife in the stands.
It was an incredible ride, me and my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I told a guy today it was phenomenal those years at Penn State, but he just persevered, and he just, and his motto is, you just got to work hard and work hard. If you want it bad enough, it's going to be there. And he just persevered. And as a father, even when he went to Penn State, I'm skeptical. He's going as a walk-in to one of the most elite schools in the country at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And to leave there with 9 records, it was incredible.
It truly was. Paul, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you so much.
It's
You're a
great
great
seeing
friend.
you.
Great
Thank
friend.
you.
Thank you.
Mayor Gene Peters, 1970, a young guy from the University of Scranton, came up to you after your campaign and said, I'd like to help you run the city of Scranton. His name was Jim McNulty.
Jim McNulty was a spark in the political arena. I actually met Jim in 1969 when I was campaigning for mayor. And I found in Jim a very perceptive, intelligent, certainly political aware person. And Jim worked with me, and especially with the unions. Actually, Jim came to me from the union movement. And at that time, the union was a very strong movement, and worked with me right through the campaign. Then, of course, I appointed him to one of the official positions in City Hall. He did such a great job, so dynamic in what he did, his knowledge of political, of people, of what people wanted, people needed, that I appointed Jim deputy mayor.
And
Jim served in that position.
And this party, we see Democrats, Senator Bob Casey, we see Republicans, the Peters family, Commissioner Pettinato. Jim crossed all circles and went with the person that he thought was going to be best for the community at that time. Whether it be Senator John Hines or Ed Muskie up in Maine. I was at a Democratic convention with Jim, and walking down the hall, George Mitchell spotted him, put a big bear hug on him and said, Jim, how are you? Jim turned to me and said, he and I were 2 young advanced men for Ed Muskie. Tells you a little bit about the breadth of his political experience.
Yeah, well, Jim has a great political sense, a great sense in knowing what the people wanted. Now, when Jim became mayor, he was so knowledgeable in all he did that he was performing all these duties more or less by himself.
Yep.
And he did a great job at it. But We operate a little differently. When I was mayor, I appointed people to positions, had them work the positions, but Jimmy was always there, monitoring overall, making sure the political end of it, the people end of it, was the right thing to do.
Well, Mayor, thank you for your service to the city.
Pleasure, Todd.
And it's
You've
great
done a
seeing
great
you here.
service yourself in the
Thank
city
you.
in many avenues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We talk about friends of Jim McNultys. None better than Greg Skrepnik from down in the Wilkes-Barre area, former county commissioner in Luzerne County, but also former Oakland Raider.
Yeah, actually we
Carolina Panther.
were in LA. Yeah, LA when I first got drafted in '92. We moved to Oakland, back to Oakland in '95, and then Carolina in '96, '97, then back to Oakland. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Great run.
Can't complain. It was very good to me. The game's very good to me, and opened up a lot of doors. And I'm fortunate and blessed that I was able to play for so long.
Jimmy McNulty, tell me a little bit about him.
None better. None better. I'll tell you. From a political sense, he has an astute mind and astute political mind that consults you and he'll get you in the right direction. But my relationship with Jim goes beyond that. It's more of a personal relationship, and if you ever need a friend, a guy who's going to be there with you through thick and thin, Jim McNulty's the guy. Him and his wife, Evie, are great people. I love them. I wish them well. I'm happy to be here on Jim's 70th birthday celebration. He's a good man, and it's just been my pleasure to know the McNultys, especially Jim.
Great to have you here,
My
Scott.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love you.
You bet. I'm here with former Congressman Chris Carney. Chris,
Good to see you, Todd.
great to see you. You were the congressman from the 10th Congressional District, and before you, there was a guy by the name of Joe McDade.
Right.
It was the congressman from that district, and it was Joe McDade with Mayor Jim McNulty that saved this building. There was a UDAG grant that was out there, and we needed it desperately.
Right.
And he was able to bring home the bacon, which in those days was a good thing. These days, people don't think it's such a good thing when a congressman helps his community.
Well, I wish people would rethink that, because it is a good thing when members of Congress can thoughtfully bring back resources to areas that need it.
And you were down there
Yeah.
at a time that our Congress was fractured, but nothing like it is today.
No, when I was there, we still had some comedy between the two sides, the two parties, but now it's gone, and now it's a wreck. When you get to the point where you decide you're going to hold the Department of Homeland Security hostage because you disagree with a policy, that's just completely wrong.
It is. It really is. And I know you're a good friend of Mayor Jim McNulty's, and people in Scranton were so lucky to have him for the short time they did. Like the people in the 10th Congressional District,
Right.
we're lucky to have you.
You're very kind.
And I mean
Thanks,
it.
bud.
I mean it sincerely. But there are an awful lot of people here, and you're starting to see the faces.
Yeah, it's really nice, and Jim has been he's really been an inspiration to so many people here tonight, and certainly an inspiration in my political career, and the things he's done for the region, not just Scranton, but the region are manifold, and it's wonderful to see.
Well, great to see you, and hope we
Thanks,
see your
Tom.
name on the ballot again soon.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time for me to go and join the party. So I'm going to say goodbye to you now, and thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us. And all I can say is, oh, what a night it's been. It's been a great night for people that love Scranton and love their politicians. So thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us. You be the judge. I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley and Langen. If I say accident, what do you think? Car crash, falling down the steps, unexpected events. People don't realize most of these accidents aren't really accidents. They're injuries caused by careless third parties. So if you've been hurt at work, call O'Malley and Langen. 1-800-817-COMP. 1-800-817-2667.
Have you been denied Social Security benefits? You can appeal. If you are disabled and if you have been paying taxes, you've earned your rights to your Social Security benefits. Call O'Malley and Langen. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win.